You talk about a surge of migrants overwhelming Border Patrol officers. One of the places you also have to look, in addition to Texas, where we just were, is rural Arizona. So much so they actually had to close the Lukeville border crossing because staff members couldn't handle the massive influx. So right now, we're joined live by the president of Arizona State Senate, and that is Warren Petersen. So thank you, sir, for coming on. And again, we're linking these two stories for obvious reasons. So bring us your perspective on the border and what it's doing to the local communities there, and why you think, I'm sure, that it's such an important component if this supplemental aid bill is ever going to get passed in Washington.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. You have President Biden meeting with Zelenskyy, but he's not meeting with the governor of Arizona, and he's not meeting with the governor of Texas on how we can secure our border here. Tucson has more apprehensions than anywhere in the country. We just recently had 350,000 people in 1 month cross the border. That's a large city coming into the country, every single state. And along with that, they're bringing crime, drugs, human smuggling, and it's become such a they've become so overwhelmed that we, as you mentioned, closed down one of our ports.
Right.
So we now have people who want to enter our country legally that can't, but the message is, if you come illegally, that's fine. We're just going to catch and release you. It's an absolute crisis.
Let me ask you about, get into the port issue in a moment, provided that we have time, but let me ask you about these negotiations in Washington and how they directly apply to you. In other words, the Republicans say the Democrats haven't been giving in enough. There's some reporting now that the White House maybe is willing to compromise more than it had been. We'll see. But what would specifically help you? What types of adjustments, changes in law, new law would specifically help you there, where you are?
Well, they need to start by enforcing the law. Biden has sent a message to the entire world that we're not going to enforce the law, that we're going to allow you to cross. And if you cross, not only are we going to allow you to cross, but we're going to bus you. We're going to send you to somewhere else. Right now, the governor in Arizona and other governors are shipping these people all over the country. So first of all, we just need them to follow the existing laws, enforce the existing laws. Biden has sent a message to the entire world that our southern border is wide open. And now we have the whole world coming in through the southern border. I mean, we are seeing people from all over, every country. We're not talking about Mexico here. We're talking about countries all over the world pouring in through our southern border.
But specifically, if that was the issue, they could probably, I know this is separate from what you're talking about, but they could wrap up these negotiations in Washington right now, but they seem to be hung up on other things. So if they were, say, to make it more difficult to apply for asylum, you know, the law on that, if they tighten that up, would that help? I mean, is that something that you think needs to be done? Or you're basically saying, all right, law's not the issue, we have them, just enforce them? Because that could be done tomorrow, technically.
Yeah, it can be, but they're intentionally not. Right. It would be huge if they would just do that. But yes, they're granting asylum to 99% of people, or at least they're processing them, and 99% of them are not going to end up qualifying for it. But they're going to spend years here in our country. So we need resources and funding to go to the border now. We need a message sent to these people that we're going to prevent them from coming in. And if they're not going to do it, at least a law that would help us would be pass a law that says the state can enforce immigration policy, that we can deport, allow us to deport. Let's not have these governors busing these people out of Arizona and out of Texas to Chicago and New York and Florida. Let's bus these people back to the country where they came from.
All right. I promised I'd let you talk about this port issue, so let me finish on that and then have you explain what's happening in your community. So first of all, from the Arizona governor, Governor Hobbs, urging the reopening of this Lukeville entry port. And we have a quote we can put up on the screen in the letter to President Biden, which says, "Your decision to close Lukeville Port of Entry is just the latest in a long stream of irresponsible policies from your administration that fail to keep Arizona citizens and all Americans safe from criminal activity at the border." So explain what happened there exactly in your area.
So what happened is that the border has been so overwhelmed that Border Patrol had to shift their resources, or chose to shift their resources from the Lukeville port, where people legally cross every single day, and they have been shifting all of their, they closed it, and now they're shifting all their resources to process people who are coming here illegally. So you've shut down trade, you shut down commerce, you have small businesses that are along this route. You're forcing people who drive there every single day to add, or in a month or travel there, to now spend 6 hours more to get to where they need to go.
All right. So in this case, urging the reopening of that port of entry. State Senate President in the state of Arizona is Warren Petersen. Thank you, sir, for coming on. Obviously, we'll continue to cover that. We appreciate. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.